Kate Casanova, and this is my exhibition Gut Feeling, which is at Ye Gallery in Brooklyn, Industry City. I think about these sculptures as bodies in and of themselves. They're bodies that are both inside and outside simultaneously. These forms I consider to be very intestinal, and then the fabrics that I incorporate I think about as being membranes or even evocative of the liquids in our bodies. This piece is pared down to just a single tubular intestinal form, and I like thinking about the way in which we think we're in control of our bodies, but in fact there's so many things, not only just the biological processes that are happening in our bodies independently of our conscious mind, but the way things like microorganisms live in our guts, and the communication between our gut and our brain is really important for creating our moods, and that the microbes in our guts and the chemicals they produce and the hormones they produce is just as much a driver in our emotional state as things that are happening up in our brain. And so as a singular form, I think of these as being more autonomous and representative of agency within the body than when it's a part of a larger bodily structure. Fabric has been a part of my work for a long time, but mostly as a material component and not as an actual textile piece that's fabric in its entirety. And so with these works, I really think of them as both skins and membranes. The embroidery creates a sort of wrinkling that makes the surface look more skin-like. The colors are evocative of the insides of our bodies, but there are also colors that are less common to find in our bodies, like the hints of yellow or blue or green. And I think of those as being significant of the other, whether that is something like an infection or a bacterial or a fungal presence. And all of those things make up who we are and the experience of having a body. I grew up in northern Minnesota in a small town surrounded by woods and lakes. And my family, we had a menagerie of animal companions. And so that world, the natural world, and all of the animals that I was in contact with every day really formed my visual and material vocabulary. I have been making sculptures for 15 years, and I really credit my grandmothers of sculpture, such as Lee Montague, Linda Benglis, Ava Hess, Sheila Hicks. And one of the things that I fell in love with these artists is the way that they use material in such an immediate fashion. They're really interested in how does the material do what it does, and how does it respond to things like gravity, because bodies also respond to gravity. And I think that whether consciously or unconsciously, it's a very feminist position to take, to evoke the body as the central way of viewing the world. When I began working on this solo show, I didn't know that I was going to be pregnant during this exhibition or the creation of it. And so I have been so grateful to work with Ye Gallery, who have been so supportive and understanding along the way. And certainly being pregnant has definitely made me turn inward and focus even more on what's happening in my own body. But it builds on a long history of my interests with the body, and that as being the central focal point for how we relate to the world. Ye Gallery is located in Industry City in Brooklyn, and this opening for this exhibition is on Saturday, and it coincides with the design week that's happening here at Industry City. So in addition to the opening on Saturday, which is from 3 to 6, please come say hello to me. I'd love to say hi. There are open studios that are happening Thursday through Sunday and you can take in all of the wonderful food and art and events that Industry City has to offer.